Gente! Gente, acorda, velho! And that girl who died bungee jumping in Brazil, like I sat there and I watched that video over and over and over again, and not one time I cannot think to feel like that was not premeditated. At the end of the day, these people do this job every single day. Been doing it is every single day for years now. I've seen it before. There's no way that it was not planned or something, because how you forget the rope, how you forget the harness, how you guys not watching the rope the whole time. Like, I'm watching this video and there was no eyes on the rope. The people that's sitting there recording it, like right there, had the best view and angle of it on recording, and it was not premeditated. No one said nothing after I heard, oh my gosh, I think the rope. What? Like, ain't no way. And nobody can tell me wrong.
A surgeon put a 13-year-old's heart valve in upside down and then tried to harvest her organs when she didn't recover. A little girl named Isabel went in for open heart surgery at a hospital in Oregon with this surgeon. He installed a mechanical heart valve, but then couldn't get her heart to restart. She ended up in the ICU on a machine that had to pump blood for her. Meanwhile, her parents are told the surgery went well and she's just in shock and will come out of it. She was like this for 18 days before they go in again, and they still can't figure out what's wrong. They tell these parents that their child is gonna die and start talking about harvesting her organs. So her parents do the only thing left, and they risk her life by moving her to Seattle Children's Hospital in the hopes they can do something. They do one scan at Seattle Children's Hospital and find out that this surgeon implanted her heart valve upside down. Competent surgeons go in and fix the heart valve, and thankfully it sounds like she's made a miraculous recovery. But for 18 days, a surgeon in a hospital that made a terrible mistake couldn't even find it. A different team found it in one afternoon. So never be afraid to get a second opinion when it comes to medical issues. And if someone you love had a surgery go sideways and no one can explain why, give me a call to figure out what your options are.
Why the fuck is the gas so high, bitch? Man, nobody better not ask for a ride at all. Shit, I might not even come outside. Why?
Now, who is that? I took this in Oregon. Bob, look at this photo, gang. I want y'all to see Bob to go, because he's gonna be on here next. Now, Bob, I took this 2015 in Oregon. Who is that running through the field right there? And I got more footage, but whatever people told me about, I go out and investigate. So I'm finna show you that never even hit the internet before. You ready for some more?
I'm ready.
So look, you see dude right there?
I see him.
I was scared, and I had a gun. Because whoever that was 3 feet taller than me, and I'm 6'5". I'm like, well, all right now. Whoever fool is, and he was carrying a rabbit in his hand. You see that white thing right there?
I see it.
That's a rabbit.
Because my question is, now that we know that Wendy Williams don't got dementia, who going to jail? Huh? Because my question is, now that we know that Wendy Williams don't got dementia, who going to jail? I need everybody involved, front and center. So they found out they gave Wendy Williams a test, and I'm guessing that it's through the state, okay? Don't get me wrong. It might have been like somebody her lawyer worked with, but apparently they found out that she never had dementia, because dementia never gets better. Huh? Unless this the first case scenario, which we know it's not. Now, her lawyer is basically going to push papers to find out how to get her out of this, like, guardianship program. My thing is, how many other people that we don't know about actually is going through stuff like this, okay? We know Wendy Williams has been calling out for help this entire time, and was actually said before that she doesn't have dementia, but somehow, some way, the guardianship had the test ran with somebody who apparently she knows, allegedly, and they said, oh no, she do got it. Now that we found out Wendy Williams don't, my thing is, who going to jail? Because y'all spending her money. Yeah, we're gonna find. We want all the records right now. Okay. Now, Wendy Williams' lawyer is working towards trying to get her out this situation and get her back on track and actually get her help with whatever it is that she has. Okay. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to go into details yet. Hopefully, prayers go out to Auntie Wendy Williams. But listen, that Guardian, yeah.
Check it out, you guys. We just found an ancient pyramid here in Central Oregon. Do you guys know about this?
Yep, there's lights twinkling on it. You see all them lights?
Yeah.
Yep. And the front is kind of like moving a little bit. Yep, you see the lights? And you see how it's kind of moving?
What is it?
See them lights?
Yeah, but
You see that?
yeah, there's no butterfly.
No, it's
I know.
it's an extraterrestrial. It's an interdimensional. They cloak themselves in trees and stuff. So I'm assuming that's a branch or something in the middle of the street, and it's a couple of them that's inside of that. When you see those lights flashing like that.
That's fucking. There, you see it?
Yeah. And now I can see the face kind of coming on the phone. You can see a face kind of starting to kind of come out. When you're looking at them, they do that. Yeah, and you know what how they're small lights and they blinking, like twinkling. Yeah.
I see them lights several times.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that something? I think they're awesome. They're here. Like, for real, they're here. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can see something else anywhere. I'm gonna turn this one off, but yeah, they really doing it at the bottom.
How's it going?
Welcome to Crazy Horse. How you doing today?
Good, just here to check on my land.
Check on your land. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're tribal enrolled, is that right? Okay, just a moment. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
And you said it's exactly the same
Exactly
the
the
last time.
every time.
All right, gotcha. I was going to say, that just is too familiar. Have a good day.
You too, I appreciate it.
Bye.
If you have not seen Disclosure Day, scroll now. If you one of those people that be in my comments talking about it's just a movie, scroll now, because y'all know my brain don't operate like that. For those people who was waiting on me to break it down, trust me, I took note. Just like I said prior to me going to see the movies, I don't think the movie is about alien disclosure at all. Now I'm here to double down on that. I think the aliens were a distraction. You know, the real message was the hidden symbolism underneath. This movie was dropping breadcrumbs from beginning to end. And as a matter of fact, Hansel and Gretel was not a coincidence within this movie. Most people hear Hansel and Gretel and think about the witch. I saw Hansel and Gretel and I thought about the breadcrumbs. That's exactly what this movie did, like I said. The opening scene was a wrestling match. That's the first clue, because why would you start this type of movie with a wrestling match? The whole movie was a wrestling match, though. Religion versus disclosure, science versus spirituality, government versus truth, old reality versus the new one. Everything in this movie is fighting for control of the narrative. Jane and Danny was talking in the beginning of the movie, and Danny says something to the effect of, You lost your secret, and Jane said, no, I lost my calling. Pay attention, because the entire movie revolves around people forgetting something. Forgetting who they are, forgetting what they experienced, forgetting what they're capable of, forgetting what happened to them. And then the Red Cardinal shows up. I talked to y'all plenty of times before this movie about Red Cardinals. Red Cardinal shows up not once, not twice, multiple times throughout the movie. But the first time it showed up, Margaret started changing. And the Cardinal appears again in the staged house. It's like it was a messenger or a signal or something that was trying to wake Margaret up. And that's where shit gets weird, because Margaret goes to do her news anchoring, her weather broadcast, and she begins to speak in clicks. Now, while everybody else around hears the clicks, Danny can hear pure English. And that's when I reminded myself the message didn't change. The receiver did. What if communication is not about language? What if it's about frequency? Honestly, parts of this decode feels like a broken record, because this is what we talk about anyway. What if consciousness itself is translating the information? I remember something my daughter brought to me about a year ago, and she said, Ma, have you noticed that dolphins, aliens, and even some African tribes speak in clicks? Whether you believe in that type of thing or not, it's interesting that this movie chose clicks of all sounds. Clicks. After the Cardinal appeared in the window, not only did she start speaking in clicks, she was able to go back to the primitive language of telepathy. Notice how the movie presents this as natural, not something supernatural or magical. Now that got to raise the question of, are these really alien abilities, or are these forgotten human capabilities? See, that's the thing, the movie never really tells us, it blurs the line there. For me, one of the most important scenes was when Scanlan, I think was his name, was tapping into the energies of the people by using pictures. He was also using a form of alien-provided technology to tap into these energies. What he was doing is known to many people as remote viewing or psychometry. It's almost like the photo itself is carrying some type of energetic signature. He tries to access Danny's energy, but he could not. So what did he do? He tapped into Jane. That shows right there that everybody is not accessible. Everybody ain't readable. You cannot just tap into everybody's energy. The stronger your discernment, your knowledge, your awareness, your energetic boundaries become, the harder it becomes for others to tap into that energy. The same device they were using, it appears that it only works through skin-to-skin contact, because remember, when they have the gloves on, it doesn't work. Connection requires contact with a direct living field, like an energetic fingerprint or technology. And then I thought about how every single indigenous culture teaches about the energetic imprint. Photos, jewelry, objects, crystals, these all carry an energetic imprint. The device presents as we would think of any amplifying energetic tools such as crystals. When they're at the house, Danny and Jane stumble upon the deer that are looking into the window. And Danny says they look like they're scared, but they're not. They're bold. And that's exactly what awakening looks like. You know, fear on the surface, but curiosity on the inside. Then later in the movie, Hugo presents one of the biggest clues ever. He says they present as these animals to calm us. And now it starts to click. The deer that we saw, the cardinal, the fox, they all matter. Right there is where I knew the movie was suggesting that intelligence can appear in forms that we don't even recognize. Now, speaking of Hugo, I had to ask myself, who or what does Hugo represent symbolically? Not just the gatekeeper, he is the gatekeeper of hidden knowledge. Like the guide or the initiator with the old man archetype that has a lot of wisdom. One thing that I do know is every mythology has one of these archetypes. Notice how he never gives answers, he just gives directions. He'll say shit like, go here, look there, remember this. Like I said, it's like he's guiding people through the awakening process. When we arrive at the staged house, and this is where the symbolism gets loud, but remember who set that up. It was Hugo and his folk. The question I had to ask myself is, why did they need to rebuild Margaret's old childhood home? And that's because memory is tied to location. So smells, sounds, places, experiences. The movie is basically saying, remember who you are. You must return to where you forgot. Then comes the Adam and Eve symbolism. But you know what? This is getting too long, so meet me at part 2.
Steve, you be putting that shit on for real, man. Hey, I never seen those black ones. When them drop?
Look.
Them ones. Mismatch, two-tone. Godly.
So a customer asked me if it.
Come milk again. Come milk again. Mama.
When the Moors started having biracial children with the cave women, their children came to power and they killed their parents. They had a sword, and when their fathers were asleep, they stabbed them in the heart and killed them. Then the children took over the kingdom and they gave the kingdom to the cave men and the cave women. And that's how we lost control of our kingdom.